I recently had to go to the gynecologist to get my vagina appraised. And my last gynecologist, she retired. She hung up the speculum and left. So I had to get a new gynecologist for the first time. And I was making the appointment on the phone. And the lady on the other end, she asked me, she goes, "Do you prefer a male or a female doctor?" And I'm easygoing, so I was like, either one's fine. Okay, whichever is available sooner. And that, my friends, is how you get a male gynecologist. Yeah, I forgot that they made those. Male gynecologists, they're like free agent quarterbacks. They're all just waiting by the phone to get that call. Finally, one picks up, he's like, "Hello?" They're like, "You're in." He's like, "Fuck yeah!" Here's the thing, I don't mind male gynecologists either. It's 2025. I think men can be doctors too. I think that's fine. I know male gynos, they have the reputation of being creeps, right? But I don't see it that way. No, I see a man who followed his passion in life. All right, men are all talk. They all say they love pussy. But only a brave few are willing to go into student loan debt for it. It's like you put your money where your mouth is, All this time, I've been getting fingered by guys who don't have jobs, so it just kind of feels like a step up in a way. It's like finally someone I can introduce to my mother. I'm never sure if I should shave before I go to the gyno. Are you guys shavers before? No, just come as you are. I appreciate that. It does, at one hand, it does feel polite to do it, to put your best pussy forward sometimes, But then I found out I was seeing a dude, and I was like, well, I don't want him to get the wrong idea. I walk in there full bush. I'm just like, I didn't think anything was gonna happen tonight. I swear, I never do this. So finally, the big day comes. I'm sitting on the paper. My doctor comes in. He's very nice, very professional. I look over. He's got the Wikipedia page for vagina pulled up on his phone. And before we begin, he does something interesting. And some of you guys might already know this, but whenever there's a female patient and a male doctor, what they'll usually do is they have to invite a female nurse into the room, to hang out in the corner and text. It's pretty cool. It's kind of she's there for backup, right? Just in case the boy doctor goes rogue. Me and her can take him down, so pretty cool. And then finally, once the gang's all here, so we're ready to begin, we get to my personal favorite part of the gynecologist, which is, we all know, the stirrups. This shit right here. Oh, ladies, giddy up, am I right? I feel like the hottest bitch in this Kaiser Permanente. After 5 minutes in these things, I'm just like, I gotta get these for the house. This is incredible. Kick back, read a book, let her breathe. And when you're naked in the stirrup, you're naked from the waist down, right? So they give you this big white sheet to put over your legs, and then when he's ready to examine you, he lifts up the sheet a little bit, like he's gonna tell it a secret, and then conducts a series of tests, tops off my coolant, sends me on my way. I got a weird uterus, just to address the elephant in the room. I got what's called a tilted uterus. So I don't know if we got a fellow angled queen in the crowd. Hell yeah, man, I love it. Tilted uterus, it sounds a little less like a medical condition, more like a shitty carnival ride. And in some ways it is. But basically what it is essentially most uteruses, they kind of stand at attention, if you will. But mine just kind of leans back like this. Yeah? Yeah. Look, guys, I don't normally do impressions, but I kind of nailed that one. I swear to God, if you saw the ultrasound. But I learned I had a tilted uterus in my first gynecologist appointment. I was 17 years old. My gyno, she was doing the exam, and she goes, "Oh, your uterus is tilted." And then she just let it hang there like I was the one with the degree. And I was like, "What did you just say to me?" And she explained to me, she was like, "It's totally normal. It's a natural variation," is what she called it. About 25% of women have it. And then she goes, "It's just for a second, I couldn't find it." And I was like, "Usually you say that part out loud? Because Here's the thing, I learned what she meant eventually, like the cervix is angled in a different direction, but the way she said it, I was like, you couldn't find it? Like, what are you, a Florida congressman? Like, there's a map on the wall. It's like, I'm pretty sure if you don't find it, I get my copay back. I think that's how that works. I went to the full body doctor too after that, and there they did a bunch of lab tests on me. And lab tests are when they take your blood and then they talk shit about it to you after. Told me I got the cholesterol levels of a long-haul trucker. Now, that took me by surprise because I was like, I eat healthy. I took a Pilates class that one time, like. And then my doctor was like, you know, it could be hereditary. He was like, maybe like, does your dad have high cholesterol? And I was like, I'm pretty sure all dads have high cholesterol. That feels like a pretty dad condition to have. I can't explain it, but I couldn't tell you a single dad in my life whose heart is doing well, okay? I think it's because all dads do is they just keep everything in, you know, they push it all down. All those years of repressing their emotions or memories, all the undiagnosed autism, it just... Like, I swear to God, my dad's heart is just lined with bacon grease and gay thoughts, and it's just... And that's how you get heart disease, so... Mental health is also very important. A lot of cool ways to deal with that. You can get a therapist. You can burden your loved ones. You can get an emotional support dog. That's new. That's fun. We know what that is. When you have depression or anxiety, what they'll do is they prescribe you a dog, and then you just take one, I guess, and you're just like, now this is your problem, too. I feel like being an emotional support dog, that's got to be the best career you can get as a dog. I mean, when you think of other dog jobs, this shit, you know, you got to sniff drugs or fight each other. These guys are just wearing sweaters in white girls' dorm rooms. And that's work. That's cool. I had a friend once who got an emotional support dog, and then the dog ran away. Yeah, it turns out it's an at-will employment. And look, at that point I was like, I'm not a doctor, but I feel like when your emotional support dog runs away, that's gotta be a check engine light, you know? When the dog you hired to support your emotions spends 1 month with them and goes, fuck this, I choose the streets. Just quits on the spot like a disgruntled line cook. And I didn't blame the dog either, you know, it was because here's the thing, it was a Chihuahua. So I'm using the term dog pretty loosely here. No, I love all dogs, but I feel like if you get an emotional support Chihuahua, it's like, are you even trying to get better? It's like, have you met Chihuahuas? They're barely supporting their own emotions. Every time I see one on the street, I'm just like, look what we've done to wolves. Like, the entire species, they got enough on their plate, okay? They gotta worry about hypothermia, large birds, like, they give a shit about your parents' divorce. Like, if you're trying to find a human to help you through a hard time, you're not gonna be like, okay, who do I know who's always shivering? All right, that's been it for me, you guys. Thank you so much. I've been Natasha.